The man who fears nothing hasn't seen what's coming. But the man who survives, he's the one who already saw it all break before it even began. Continues how to grow. Silas is building his most ambitious project, yet a massive water purifier for the district. The town expects a miracle, but Silas expects a mess. He sits in the shadows of his workshop, not celebrating his blueprints, but attacking them. He is looking for the fatal flaw. Most people call this pessimism. Silas calls it survival. This is the pre-mortem. It's the habit of imagining your project is already dead and then working backward to find the killer. In a success mindset, hope is a dangerous drug. Preparation is the only cure. Barnaby watches his head tilted, sensing the heavy silence of a man playing chess with disaster. Silas closes his eyes. He performs the shadow walk. He imagines the purifier is finished. He hears the cheers of the town. And then he hears the snap. The sound of a bolt shearing under pressure. He smells the ozone of a short circuit. He sees the rust eating the main valve. He is visualizing the ghost of failure. Ancient Stoics called this premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They knew that a success mindset isn't built on positive affirmations, but on negative visualizations. By living the disaster in his mind today, Silas won't have to panic in reality tomorrow. He isn't being negative. He is being tactical. He finds the 3 points where the machine will likely die: the seal, the motor, and the intake. He doesn't pray for them to hold. He builds them to fail safely. Why do we hate to think this way? Science calls it optimism bias. Our brains are hardwired to believe that bad things happen to other people. This bias is why companies go bankrupt and why buildings collapse. We fall in love with our own ideas, and love is blind to structural cracks. Silas, however, has killed his ego. His success mindset treats his own ideas as enemies to be tested. He uses the pre-mortem to bypass the brain's natural blindness. He is looking at the amygdala, the fear center of the brain, and instead of letting it paralyze him, he is using it as a scanner. He is turning his anxiety into a blueprint for resilience. Barnaby nudges a backup gasket toward him. Even the dog knows in this basement we don't trust luck. We trust the fail-safe. Silas begins the reinforcement. For every point of failure he imagined, he creates a redundancy. If the main valve snaps, there is a bypass. If the motor overheats, there is a cooling fan that triggers independently. He is spending 20% more time now to save 100% of the project later. This is the difference between a dreamer and a master. A dreamer builds to win. A master builds to not lose. This part of the success mindset is tedious. It's grinding and unglamorous. It's checking every bolt 3 times. But Silas finds a strange peace in it. The more he prepares for the disaster, the less he fears it. His anxiety is replaced by a cold, surgical precision. He is no longer worried about the storm because he is the one who designed the shelter. Panic is the sound of a man realizing his plan wasn't as good as he thought. CTA. If you want to be the person who stays calm when everyone else runs, you need to join the pack. Subscribe to Aletheia Flow, and let's build your unshakable mind. Continues. The day of the test arrives. The entire neighborhood gathers in the street. The air is thick with anticipation and the smell of industrial coal. Silas stands by the purifier, his hand on the lever. He feels the pressure in the pipes rising. He isn't looking at the output. He is staring at the intake, the place he predicted would fail. Most people are watching the victory. Silas is watching the war. He takes a breath. He pulls the lever. The machine groans like a dying giant. Suddenly it happens. A high-pitched metallic scream cuts through the rumble of the engine. Snap. A thick cloud of steam erupts from the main intake, the exact spot Silas had circled in red on his blueprints. The crowd gasps and surges backward, faces twisted in fear. To them, it looks like an explosion is imminent. To them, the project is a failure. But for Silas, this moment is a rerun. He has lived this exact second 1,000 times in his head, over the last 3 nights. While the world panics, Silas moves with the cold, deliberate speed of a man who is simply following a checklist. A success mindset doesn't flinch at the sight of fire because it already accounted for the heat. Silas isn't reacting to a disaster. He is executing a pre-planned response. He reaches for a wrench, his hand as steady as a mountain. Silas doesn't try to plug the leak with his hands. He ignores the steam. Instead, he reaches for the secondary bypass valve, the shield he built during his shadow work. With a sharp, heavy turn, he diverts the pressure. The screaming stops. The secondary cooling fan, which he installed just in case of an overheat, whirs into life with a reassuring hum. The machine stabilizes. Silas didn't fix the problem in the heat of the moment. He had already fixed it 2 days ago in the quiet of his mind. This is the ultimate power of the pre-mortem. It buys you time when time is the only thing that matters. A success mindset recognizes that the best way to handle a crisis is to have already defeated it before it arrived. Silas wipes a smudge of grease from his cheek. The machine is still running. The purifier is holding. The old mechanic Miller steps forward, wiping sweat from his brow. "That was lucky, kid," he grunts. Silas looks at him and shakes his head. "It wasn't luck, Miller. I killed this machine 3 times on paper before I ever turned it on." Silas realizes that people always mistake preparation for luck because they don't see the shadow work done in the dark. A success mindset doesn't rely on the roll of the dice. It stacks the deck in its own favor. He looks at the bypass valve. It's a small, ugly piece of metal, but it's the difference between a hero and a victim. Silas understands that the pre-mortem has given him more than just a working machine, it has given him a reputation. In the Rust Belt, trust is built on reliability, and Silas has just proven he is the most reliable gear in the district. Silas turns the final tap. For a moment there is only the sound of air in the pipes. Then a stream of water begins to flow. It isn't the brown, muddy sludge the town is used to. It is crystal clear, sparkling in the gray light of the industrial morning. One by one, the townspeople come forward with their rusted buckets, filling them with the first clean water they've seen in years. Silas watches them, but his mind is already moving to the next project. The purifier is just a machine, but the habit that built it, the pre-mortem, is a permanent upgrade to his soul. He has mastered the art of seeing the dark to find the light. His success mindset has turned a disaster into a miracle, not because he was an optimist, but because he was a prepared realist. How to grow? You grow by realizing that the greatest threat to your future is your own refusal to see what could go wrong. A success mindset isn't about being positive. It's about being unshakable. It's about building a mind that has already visited the worst-case scenario and decided to survive it. Silas walks back to his workshop, Barnaby trotting by his side. The pre-mortem is now a part of him, the shadow that protects the light. He knows that more storms will come and more machines will break, but he also knows that he will be waiting for them, blueprints in hand, ready to face the killer before it strikes. Build your mast, master your flow, take a breath, and let life carry you. Until next time.